I am back again with another foliage tutorial in watercolor, and this time I'm going to be showing you how to paint some eucalyptus. I'm starting out by mixing together with my Princeton Velvetouch brush. I have a round size 4. I'm using some Undersea Green and some Indigo together. I'm just kind of mixing that up until I get kind of a grayish blue-green color. And I'm going to be using my Arches watercolor paper. I actually just flipped my paper around that I did my olive branches on, and I'm just doing this on the other half of that paper. I'm trying to get a really nice gray-green and then add some more water to that just so that I get a nice light color. So I'll start out by making just some simple branches. And you can curve them, make them straight. I'm just going to do kind of like a sprig that has 2 branching areas. And I'm going to start out at the top and I'm going to make a sort of circular leaf shape, very round, that's a little bit pointed. And I'll kind of vary up the shape of my leaves every so often. And maybe have another leaf that will be tucked behind there, and I can go back over that with a second layer. And to make the veining detail, all I did is turn my brush around with the handle end, and I am just lightly pressing into my paper while the paint is still wet. And then the paint will settle down into that little ridge that I've made, and you'll get that veining detail. So this way you don't have to go back after it's dry with tiny brushes and try to make little lines. That's my little hack or trick to make vein details on leaves. And you do have to do that while the paint is still wet. Otherwise, there's no paint for it to settle down into that ridge, and you'll have to go back over with another layer. So after each leaf, I just turn my brush around and add my vein. And so some of these I'm making a little stem coming off, and then the others I have directly connected. And here to do a leaf that's in the front, I'm just going over my stem. So I have them coming all different directions, and then just kind of filling in there what one would be if it was on the back side there and it's hidden behind those other 2 leaves. So I'm just working my way down on this stem and making these semi-round shaped leaves with a little bit of a point on the end. They're almost like big fat raindrop type shapes. And I'll just continue that same method on the other little branch and just kind of varying my size up. You can go smaller at the top and work your way down, get bigger. I'm just adding some very little ones here. And I'm actually just going to extend my branch up just a little bit so that I can add just a teeny little leaf at the top. And then I'm just going to continue with those circular shaped leaves and flipping my brush around to do my veining detail with the handle of my brush. Some fun ideas to incorporate this eucalyptus into some of your other projects would be if you are making any kind of floral arrangements and need some greenery to add in. Eucalyptus leaves would look really pretty with some pastel flowers, or if you wanted to make wreaths out of foliage, this is another leaf shape that you can incorporate into a foliage themed wreath, or any kind of monograms, or something that if you're wanting a more masculine look instead of flowers, you could do all foliage and different types of leaves. You can use eucalyptus leaves as other accents, and if you make floral arrangements. And then that lower leaf there, I'm just having that again kind of just tucked behind that other leaf. And I can go back over that with another layer if it's blending together too much. just kind of vary up the directionality of your leaves on this because the eucalyptus would be kind of varying in size and shape, and so you just want to vary it up a little bit. All right, so I'll do a second type of eucalyptus stem here. This one will be almost like a side view of it, and so the leaves will be coming off to the side. I'm just going to make some small little ones at the top, and then do a very thin oval shape. And I'm not doing the veining detail on all of these. I'll just do it on a few that are bigger and showing more of the front side of the leaf. So this would be like you're looking directly from the side. And there are lots of different types of eucalyptus actually. So some of them have long, thin leaves, and some have these thick lobed leaves like this. So I'm just going to vary it up a little bit, and some of them will be the same shape as that first sprig of eucalyptus, and some will be more this oval shape. Again, I'm just using my round size 4 for all of this, and some of them I'll turn my brush around and add that veining detail with the handle. So after some of that is dry, if you wanted to go back over with some more layers in some of these leaves, like here I want to darken a couple of them up just to kind of define them a little bit more and just doing more layers on top just to make a few of them have some color variations. Like here, these two were overlapped, so I just wanted to go over that one just so that it's more defined and it doesn't look like one giant leaf. There's two clearly defined leaves there. So that was dry and I was able to add another layer on top. And then on this other sprig, I wanted to maybe just drop in a little bit of yellow ochre. So I mixed that into my undersea green, and where that's still wet, I'm just dropping in a little bit of that color just to give some variation on the color. So just the ones that I notice are still wet, I'm just adding a little bit of that just to give me a little bit of color variation and try out a little bit different of a look. Maybe kind of make it look like the leaves are browning a little bit. And you can add just another layer on the bottom side of the leaf, make it look a little darker. You can add along the bottom edge, just add another layer, and that will make it look like the leaf, you're seeing part of the bottom of the leaf. And if you want to add any variation on any of these, you can drop in some other blue or yellow colors just to vary them up. And I'm just adding another layer over some of these. They were a little bit pale for my liking. And if you don't like the way it looks for like there, I just tried to do that on the bottom. I didn't really care for that, so I just filled it in the rest of the way. I'm adding a little bit of brown to the stem on that as well, just to blend that in. Make that stem a little bit darker. I'm just going over with another layer on there. I'll just add a little bit more of my green and indigo mixture there. Maybe add a little bit more of a leaf up there at the top. This is a really great little added leaf shape just to add into any project that you might be working on. I do have another tutorial that I just posted previous to this that is on olive branches, so make sure you check that out and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming tutorials. Thanks for watching and have a great day.